Hi, I'm Annie Brooke. So, one of the things I hear all the time is my kid is hypersensitive, or I'm hypersensitive. I can't relax. And this book is called Help for Sensory Challenges. I wrote it because a mom came to me with her kid who couldn't tolerate wearing clothes. It's not so fun when your child is so sensitive that they can't exactly relax and adjust in a way that's functional. And hypersensitivity can be like that. I call it extrasensory radar. And what you can do is actually train the body mind to re-inform, meaning new information through games. And the games are physical. So we have games like cow against the tree, curl in, curl out, grow, curl like a snail, grow like a tree. We have loose as water, tight as a rock. These are all image and movement games that give a new reference point to your brain. And that's what makes all the difference. Now, I'm also very informed about early experiences. I was born premature. I was one of those high arousal temper tantrum kiddos. Fortunately, my mom raised us in a place we could go to nature, and that helped me regulate a lot until I started to discover in my mid 20s the inner workings of healing, which I really needed to do. I thought I was going to be a bag lady at one point because my house had burned down, my partner was drinking. It was a lot of traumatic events in my early 20s, and I had to find resources. Over time, I found them. I found the teachers, I practiced, and I am so grateful for the things I put together and the teachers I've been able to study with. So, one of my signature books is this book, which is about birth trauma. It's about how do you heal from experiences in your life that were precognitive. And if you are a therapist or a parent interested in why is your kid behaving a certain way, or for your own healing, this book has so much useful, easy to use in what am I trying to say? Easy to use information because it's got little sidebars where you can get quick notes. It's got usually about 2 pages on a topic, and then there's another topic. So it's divided into sections that have the place for prenatal, which is the time in utero. It has a section for birth itself, what happens there, and it has a section for post birth. That's volume one. And it has 10 case studies. So if you're a clinician, how do you treat over time? How do you help someone over time, an adult or a child, work with these issues that they're showing you? They're either in their thought process, their behavior as an adult or a child. And when you know how to read the signs, what I call the hidden story, that's why this is called Birth's Hidden Legacy, it creates an impression in your brain. So, volume two is all about treatment tools. It's got body mind interventions, it's got character style, attachment, the things. How do you help someone feel safe and protected? How do you set up your office to help children and adults? So, if you are interested in the precognitive memory, we call it implicit memory, and helping it release in the primitive brainstem, you will get so much value. And it's a huge sale. So that is a real good thing for you to know about. and that will help you. So another book I wrote, right when I was my first book in 2001 was Contact Improvisation and Body Mind Centering. And I wrote this book because I was a teacher living in Taos, New Mexico, and I had a movement studio. And no teachers came to Taos at that time. It was too far out of the mainstream travel. And I thought, how can people learn contact? It's so much fun. It's so healthy, so informative. It gives you a community. And I thought, I'm just going to sit down and write every exercise I know. And I wrote this book because I was supposed to go dance with friends in California and I hurt my back. And I just thought, oh, I have 3 days. I can't really move around. What should I do? And I thought, oh, I'm going to make a book so that people all over the world can actually learn contact and share it. And this book has been used at universities, it's in dance departments. It's it's in its fourth printing. It's actually sold out. I have to print it again, but it's full of pictures, and it's got not only solo exercises that you can do to help you understand the sensation of your own movement and spatial, but it's got group as well. You can see the echo in adult life all the way back to the earliest survival times. Birth's Hidden Legacy on sale. This book, Relationship Ready, is exactly that, about how do you become ready for a relationship. You might already be in one, but it might not be fulfilling. And it might be that you're stuck in power struggles. You're stuck in memories from your history. How you were raised, what your parents did. And you're not really able to be balanced in your adult self in relationship. And really, relationships are where, the rubber meets the road. You're going to be challenged. You might feel fine in all aspects, but in the tension of intimate relationship, that's where your own behavior can really surprise you. Or you can feel trapped. You can feel despairing. You can feel hopeless. When you have the tools in this relationship ready book, and again, it's simple, it's easy to read, it's got charts, it's got pictures, it's got practices, you become a better partner. If you're not in partnership, you won't have so much distress when you enter a relationship again. And that's my goal. And secretly, couples that get along better are better parents. And that helps the kids, and it helps family, and it helps our world. So becoming relationship ready is a mature step to having a fulfilled life. And no matter where you are on that journey toward relationship, if you're not happy, if you're not, gosh, fulfilled, why not? Why not integrate your past experiences, understand how to stay present, how to listen for the grain of truth when someone is, when you're in a conflict. My master's degree program I attended was all on conflict resolution. That took a lot of courage. And how do you sit and negotiate, not just mentally, but from the heart? How do you find the soul of the relationship? How do you listen for not two individuals, but the co created extra energy and support? It's almost like the diva of your relationship, so that you can rest into a kind of love, a kind of trust, a kind of just baseline support in your home. And that's what I want. So, Relationship Ready is for that. And it also is really, really on sale. And you can just click the links, they'll take you to each of the books, and you can find out more because it's time. Did I talk yet about this fun book? This is called Awakening the Creative Mind. Now, years ago, I have studied improvisation since my mid 20s. It was such a gift to study with a master improviser, Ruth Zipporah, and learn how to get my brain, my mental judging, assessing out of the way so that my expression could be authentic without a mask. And I didn't have to pre formulate everything. We can have to think we have to get it all figured out. But improvisation gives you the trust to relax and let things emerge. Ruth Zipporah would get on, she would come, I would go to her performances and she would just stand on the stage, do a little gesture, and all of a sudden a whole dynamic story evolved that was expressed through her movement and her vocalization, her storyline, and it was captivating. And she didn't have a script, she didn't memorize something. She had the authentic connection with herself and an intention. That's a great way to live life. And it doesn't mean you don't have any structure. It means that you can meet the challenges day to day without getting bottlenecked and without getting overly stressed. So this is set up so that you can do fun games with your friends. You can learn, like, what are you doing? That's an improvisational exercise where you do a gesture that's different than what you say you're doing. So, example, if I was showing a gesture, I'm brushing my teeth, and someone says, "What are you doing?" I'd say, "Oh, I'm reading a book." Now that's a contradiction, right? My physical gesture is not what I'm saying. However, you learn that you can then go quickly. Okay, now you're going to do that. You're going to read the book. And someone says, "What are you doing?" And you say, "Oh, I'm making a peanut butter sandwich." But you have to be quick, right? You have to open to possibilities that don't always fit together. And improvisation is a real skill. Now, the second part of this book is all about playback theater, which is a wonderful form. I got to study with Jonathan Fox, one of the founders, and I was in a playback troupe for years in Seattle. And then I used this as a therapy healing. I would use it with groups, and I was able, I went and volunteered at Columbine when they had those just horrible Columbine school murders. And I realized the individuals need a group healing. And so I did a pilot project of playback theater in a school, a public high school, for 6 months. And I really saw how these kids could tell the story. They could be seen. They could feel empathetic for their peers. And that's what playback theater does, is it opens the humanness of all of our experience. And we can see ourselves in others. It's a wonderful form. It's also got a lot of improvisation to it upon a structure. So if you have groups and you want to help them, you can really learn how to do playback theater as well as writing exercises, little game exercises you can play with your family. So this is a great book just to get you used to, how do I improvise? How do I enjoy? I think I went through all of them. Help for sensory challenges. Why did I write this? Because a mom had a kid who just was melting down at school. She had two sisters, and this one daughter, for some reason, was having meltdowns. So I put together all the proprioceptive games I know, the auditory games, the work with the eyes. And I wanted to help this girl reintegrate so that she was not thrown off by the extra impressions that came to her from being in school. Now, you can use this with adults. You can use it for yourself. You can use it to, it's full of different little games. And every game actually reinforms the nervous system. Sensory challenges come from the physical sensory getting overwhelmed and then developing protective responses. That can happen from a difficult birth. That can happen from chemicals prenatally. That can happen from post birth not being resting on the mother's chest. You can get sensory overwhelm. It can happen from a big trauma, but you can heal it. That's the good news. You can't wait for the world to adjust to you. When you get resilient in your body, in your ability to take in information and process it, what a relief. Parents have been thrilled with the more ease in parenting because their child is not so sensitive. Adults have been able to relax, to enjoy groups, enjoy being out in the world. You don't need to suffer forever because you can reinform your nervous system when you know how. So join me, enjoy, right? So many different topic centered books that are here to help you grow and develop. And again, if you are a movement educator, I can't even hold them all. If you're a movement educator, you will be thrilled with the specificity of things you can use to teach from. If you're a therapist, to use as interventions. And if you're just one of those self study students, you can really help yourself. So thanks for being curious about somatic interventions, learning, and discovery. You can find me at anniebrook.com. Instagram. This is my YouTube channel. I'm an educator, I'm a therapist, I present at conferences worldwide, and I love movement. I love the integration, actually, not just movement, but being able to stay relational and meet the challenges of life. AnnieBrook.com. Enjoy your life.